always assumed I'd be in the middle, and I'm like the tall person. You guys actually have a hope to be as tall as me.
Maybe almost. It's close.
Hi, welcome to Minute to Skim It. I'm Jen and I have no voice, so if you can't hear me, it's my fault. I'll kick us off today while I still have a voice. So I just realized I picked the most rare cover of this. It's like a $10 book, but they're not all the same price. There's $6 versions and $4 versions, so just so you know, there's a bunch of different covers for this book. They're all really cool looking. I don't know if you guys have ever read Cross before, but it's all you need to really know about it is that Garth Ennis writes it, so it means it's sick and twisted in the best possible ways. If you're a fan of zombies, this is going to be your kind of cool book. It's got a cool background for this series. It really does feel a lot like The Walking Dead as far as kind of his relationship with the other people that are with him. And it's really sick and twisted. Don't leave this book for your kids to find on the coffee table. So yeah, it's a grim look at the possible contagion future. And then I'm going to mess up this name really badly because it's one of those things that doesn't flow off the tongue. Kogentic. If it's wrong, sorry, whoever wrote this. This is a really great book. Oh, James Tinian, of course, the fourth. So this is really, really good, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever picked up any of the Boom and Print titles before, but this one's really neat. So I don't want to give too much away about the story because it'll really wreck it for you, but there is something that we can't see that is infecting the people of New York and making them do things like throw themselves off the Empire State Building. Super mysterious because they don't really tell you how it's getting from person to person, just so that you know they have to get near to each other. And they start talking really cryptically. So pick this up. This is a really good start, and the art is really gorgeous in this book too. So these are my two independents. I recommend both of them.
Sweet.
Whoever.
My name is Michael. It's my first time here. Thanks for having me. Read two very interesting books that are near and dear to my heart. The first being Uncanny Inhumans #1. So I'm a big fan of Inhumans. As long as I've been into comics, which hasn't been that long to be honest, but I've been reading the Inhumans all this year for sure, leading up to Secret Wars. And for anybody that read through the Secret Wars Inhumans, this picks up basically right where Inhumans led into Secret Wars. So if you're worried about those storylines that stopped right before Secret Wars started, this has every single one of those story arcs that you were concerned about, the cliffhangers that we all were worrying about. And if you're new, don't worry. It actually is a halfway decent way to pick up, or place to pick up the story, because it actually revisits each one of those cliffhangers a little bit, not in exactly the same way, but they're all referenced, and you can easily get an idea of where the story's at and where we're going to be headed from there. So.
Is the tie-in at all with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show?
Not that I've noticed.
Okay.
Not that I can recall. I don't remember anything from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being in the Uncanny Inhumans. Okay. So it may be there. Don't quote me on that.
Well, they're totally inhumaning it up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So.
For sure they are.
And there's rumors that someone really, really, really wants to be Black Bolt, but they want to be... he really wants them to come after them. I don't know, he said sweet talk me or something.
Nice.
The guy that has the voice is Groot.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel wants to be Black Bolt, which I say, let him have it.
Let him do it. All right. That way he wouldn't have to talk. We wouldn't have to hear him talk.
Well, usually we just hear him talk. He's usually like the Iron Giant. Or...
Right. All right. And so the second one that I read was Karnak, and I've definitely been looking forward to this one as a fan of the Inhumans. Any other long-term or good Inhuman fans would know that basically he is one of their companions. He helps all of them through the Terrigen when they're being changed, and that's one of his things that he does for the Inhumans throughout time. He's part of a line of people, they're monk-like people, I guess, that are there for that transition. This picks up with him back at his home, at his temple with his monk brethren, and he's called into service by none other than S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's definitely a huge tie-in with S.H.I.E.L.D. in this, and also obviously a tie-in to the Inhumans. But Karnak is pretty bad A. I love this comic, and I can't say enough about it. You guys need to read this one, absolutely.
Any mention of AIM?
Yes, so they're definitely there's AIM in there, and there's a new one that I hadn't heard of. But basically, there's a kidnapping. Karnak is hired to go find this person, and we get about halfway there, and then the story ends for
Do a good job of
this
tying
issue.
the books together, because the books we read last week, there were Marvel titles. It had a lot to do with AIM and the new group.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Really cool.
I'm Seth. I'm going to second that Karnak was really good. So buy it.
Did you read it too?
Yeah, I read it too.
I made him read it. I was like,
It
you
was
have to
really
read
good.
this.
So, I read 2 books. The first is The Astonishing Ant-Man, #1. Like The Uncanny Inhumans, this picks up with Scott Lang as Ant-Man, post-Secret Wars, so 8 months later, and he doesn't know what happened, all that stuff. If you read the Ant-Man before Secret Wars, which had like 6 issues or something, this is very much the same kind of thing. It even ties in with some of those story arcs before. The characters are very similar, and a lot of them are the same. It's a solid book. I really enjoyed it. It's got good art. It's got a good story. And Ant-Man's not my favorite hero, but he has some interesting dynamics with his family and all of that going on that makes this book pretty interesting. It makes him interesting, I think, as a character. So that's The Astonishing Ant-Man, #1. It was solid. The second one that I read is What If Infinity Guardians of the Galaxy #1. I never read a What If book before. This was great. As I was reading it, I was really laughing out loud. So the premise of this book is in that Infinity event that happened a couple years ago, in the middle of the Avengers, New Avengers stuff leading up to the Secret War. This is if Guardians of the Galaxy came to Earth and freed Thanos from that cube.
Seems like a
And
bad plan.
their plan is to free him so that they can kill him.
Okay.
But all the Guardians are competing to be the one to be able to kill him. The main character that really follows and is kind of the narrator is Rocket the Raccoon recounting the story of what happened, and it's filled with humor. There is a lot of funny stuff. There's cameos from a lot of our favorite Avengers characters, Captain America, Black Panther, others. So that makes it really cool, and it ties in really closely with the Infinity story. So that's a lot of fun. The art is also a little bit unique. It's not super detailed, and it's a little bit cartoony. Let me see if I can find something near the beginning. Maybe, but it's solid. It's really. I can't show you that. That's a spoiler. So,
I saw it.
but What If Infinity was really solid. Pick that up. You'll laugh a lot. And it's very lighthearted, so you don't have to worry about canonicity and chronology and all that stuff. It's just total silliness. So
That's
it's
a big
very
word.
great.
Canonicity, we're going to hashtag that tomorrow.
Yeah, hashtag canonicity.
Well, cool. All right, remember, tomorrow we go back to the future. It is the date of all dates, the last time we will be going to the future, and all dates past this will be the past. So see you tomorrow. That's a weird thing to think of. But for now, everything is the past in those movies.
That is a lot of